Dun 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 dun! Here is the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. And first off, anybody who is subscribing, thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you for your support. Anybody who has not yet subscribed, if you guys want to stay up to date with any of the Samsung devices, this is one of the good channels you can go to if you'd like. If you guys are using your devices in terms of watching YouTube videos, if it is a tablet or a cell phone, you're going to have an option to hit on a down arrow to actually see the description of the video. And what I've been doing lately, actually, to help you guys out, is I have been actually putting inside of the, or let's say that you're on the laptop and you're going to see the see more option. This is where I'm going to keep updating any type of frequently asked questions. So please, if you guys have any questions, post them up, and then I'm going to actually put in the answers right over here. So one of the frequently asked questions on the Galaxy S4 video was the gesture sensor, which is the purple blinking light. A lot of people have been saying, hey, mine has not been blinking. Is mine a defective device? And so here's the answer right here. It's blinking due to the camera picking up the infrared waves. And you might see that on the Galaxy Note 3 just in case too. So actually right here, this is one of the people asking the question. So please pertain to the description of the video in terms of frequently asked updated questions, so it's going to help everybody out. And so here we go. This is the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. I've already pulled out the S Pen, and I do want to let you guys know that they did redefine the S Pen to the point where you can actually put it in two different ways compared to the one way. Another thing that they have actually improved with the S Pen is using it with the back icon as well as the menu icon. So this is one of the things that a lot of people wanted in the Note 2, and here we go. We have it using with the back button and the menu button. So hopefully you guys remembered one of my other videos on YouTube talking about group play, and if you haven't, I'm going to make sure I put a link in my description of this video for that. But group play is something that, I was able to show off in terms of the Galaxy S4. You'd be able to have 8 different devices playing the exact same song if you wanted to. You can also do it with pictures, documents, and games, but what you notice on the Note 3 is you're able to do it with video, and I'm actually going to show that here right now. So here is a quick demonstration to show you how the group play works with video. So they're already keyed, lined up, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play. So right off the bat, what you're going to notice is that every single screen is actually an individual screen. What you want to do next is you want to flip this on, and then you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you head over into the music, the sounds, what's going to happen is the most outermost phones is actually going to be the speakers. So for example, if I was to bring down this phone here on the left, now it's going to be louder on the right. If I head back into the music over here, and I bring this back up, and I bring this down, as you can tell. And then this is how this works. So it's video and audio. And then one cool thing that you can actually do is you can pick up one of the phones, you can give it a little shake, and it'll do a fast little update. So if you wanted to have individual screens again, you can. Turn it right back on, you flip that on. And then you can bring up the sound. And then if you're to take one of them off, it will reset the phones. And so now this is the left speaker, that's the right speaker. And again, let's say I take this one off over here. These will be individual. And then you got 1, 2, 3, left speaker, right speaker. Turn these right back in. That's how group play works with video. Let us look at this camera for a little bit here. So just so you guys know, this did inherit the 13 megapixel camera that was placed in the Galaxy S4, but there is actually a few extra shooting modes in here. Let me put this into landscape mode just so we can be able to view this a little bit better. Zoom in a little bit more. And this is what we're going to be able to see. And so now you guys are able to see something referred to as golf. So this is probably one of those things that stood out at the very beginning. So basically what you do is you just stand in front of, you have your friends stand in front of your camera, and then you place them in front of this little guy right here, okay? So I don't have another person to show this off with, but just so you guys know, this is extremely easy and fun, so I'm going to let you guys actually play with this and experiment by yourself. But what's going to happen is it'll actually break down your golf swing, and so you can make sure that's in a perfect circle. And then basically when you hit play, it's going to replay back, and back. And then the next thing you guys are going to notice possibly, is the surround shot right here. So this is where you can take a full 360-degree panorama shot. Or back in the day when 4.22 first came out, I believe that was the Android version anyways, and this is where people refer to it as photosphere. But this one is awesome. And so let me show you an example of what I've created with the photosphere. So just a second. And so right now it doesn't look like anything completely special until you actually hit on the globe icon. And so what you're going to do is you're actually going to literally be playing dot to dot with this thing. So again, like I said, I don't, I'm not going to be walking outside to be able to do this. And what you'd be able to do here is hit on the pause button, and then you'd actually be able to view your entire photo. So as you can tell, I did a complete circle, a whole 360-degree around, but I also went completely up. So this is the sky right here, and then you also have all the way to where down my feet would be. And so here is a 360-degree panorama shot. And the other example, or the other name that people would call it, is the photosphere. Let's say that you are looking at your photosphere that you've created. One of the things you're going to notice is that it is in terms of the gyroscope. And so if I turn it left and right, you're going to notice that you'll be able to turn the photo. So this is going to be awesome and amazing if you're on top of a mountaintop, if you are in the middle of a huge stadium, and then you can show all your friends. And I do know that there is a few websites and a few applications out there that you'd actually be able to upload these to so you can share them through Facebook. So heading back into all the different shooting modes, I will give you a brief explanation on what all these do. If you guys have already played or seen with the Galaxy S4, especially if you've seen any of my other previous videos, then you've seen me demonstrate these, or at least explain them. And so let me explain them. So you have the little grid icon, and you also have the huge spinning wheel here. So this will explain to you what's going on. So this is the golf shooting mode, and this is going to be able to, you can be able to view your swing, playing it back and back and back and back, pretty much like a GIF, and also it breaks it down. Animated photo, this is where it creates its own GIF. And then you have the drama shot. This is where it takes several photos, and then it will place the person throughout the entire scene of the shot. So in terms of the snowboarder going across the scene, not towards or away from the camera, but across, this is where it's going to place them throughout the picture. You have sound and shot. It takes a picture, and then it also records sound as well. And then you have your best faces. It takes 5 photos. You'd be able to mix and match the faces that it detects, and then you can make the perfect photo or the funniest photo. Your best photo, you have beauty face. So some of these I have shown to you before in other videos. Also, they're pretty self-explanatory. Night mode, action mode. This is in terms of the sports here, so you can take fast movement. Surround shot, I showed you guys just a second ago. Here's the normal panorama shot. That's been around for a few years now. Eraser shot is where it takes 5 consecutive photos, and then basically what's going to happen is the person who is moving in the forefront or the background will turn purple. You touch them, and then they will be deleted. Rich tone, it takes basically 2 different photos, and it's capturing a little bit greater intensity, and you're going to be putting in different exposures together to create your perfect photo. And then now we're back to the golf. So now let's go back into auto. And something that I'm going to show here now is in reference to the video. So I'm going to hit on the settings icon. Then I'm going to hit on the video icon up here, and this is where you can put it in normal, slow motion, fast motion, smooth motion, and then you can limit it to MMS. So I'm going to show you really fast the slow motion. This is where you can do it in half the speed, fourth the speed, or eighth the speed. And then if we switch this over into fast motion, you'd be able to create a video that is 2 times, 4 times, or 8 times the speed. Then what we have is smooth motion. Now let me show you what smooth motion does. So this is what it's going to look like, when you go back and forth. It's not going to be that great as of right now because this isn't, me being outside. But now when you actually are in smooth motion and you hit on the video icon, you're going to notice that when you hit the video recording button, everything is going to be much more smooth. So I'm really sorry. I'm just trying to keep where this camera is just so I can create a shorter video. But I would say play with the smooth motion, and then go skateboarding, follow a friend, do whatever and everything that you want to, so then you can have fun with the smooth motion. Inside of the video, I do also want to show you guys that there's also 4K recording. And so, all you have to do is when you head into your camera right here, you just go into settings, and then you got to hit settings one more time. Once you're inside of your settings, this is where you can see the photo size. You can create them bigger or smaller, 13 megapixels, 9.6 megapixels, 8 megapixels, and so on. And as of right now, I guess I'm going to put mine into 13 megapixels. Some of the other things you'd be able to do is underneath video, click there, and here is where you have the 3840 by 2160. And so this is basically going to be giving you your 4K video recording. Other than that, you got your 1920 by 1080p, and then all the other, shooting qualities as well. All right, so now I also want to show you guys this other thing on the very bottom. This is the caret, okay? So when you turn on this caret or you bring it on up, what's going to happen is you're going to have several different filters that you'd be able to do. And just so you guys know, this is all live filters, so you can see exactly what your photo is going to look like before you actually take the photo. Now let me show you guys how you'd be able to do a picture or a video using the front-facing and the rear-facing camera at the exact same time. So this is part of the Galaxy S4 as well. But if you guys have not seen that video, here I'll show you here on the Note 3. That middle icon that is right in there, this one right here, all you have to do is click on this, and now you're actually able to take a picture using the front-facing and the rear-facing camera as well. Or a video, it's all up to you. Here's the video icon, and then here is the camera photo. So let me take a picture. Bam, there we go. So let's say that you are at a concert and you want to take a photo of not only the artist in front of you, but you also want to be in the picture as well. So you can put it into a stamp if you want to. You can move it around. You can make this bigger or smaller. I'm sorry. So you can make this bigger or smaller if you want to. Other than a stamp, you have the oval blur, you have a heart, you have a window. You can do any of these things that you want to. You can also do a split. This is one of my favorite ones. And so also, let's go over to the brand new one that is not in the Galaxy S4, and this is referred to as glue. What glue does is you put this anywhere that you see another TV or a box-looking thing. Let's say you're in the middle of a sports stadium and you see the big Globotron or whatever you call that, huge TV in the center of the stadium, and you want to put a picture of yourself inside of that big, huge TV in the center of the stadium. So you can have the entire stadium right here, but your photo is going to be as if it was on the Globotron or whatever you call it. All you do is place it close to where it is. You can make it bigger or smaller, however you needed to. Click on that photo icon right there, and it's actually going to glue it. That means that you actually be able to move the phone back and forth, and this will actually be glued to exactly where it should be so you can take your amazing photo. Here is a fun one. I'm going to show you guys something referred to as My Magazine. And this is something that Samsung has created in cooperation with Flipboard. So all you have to do is at any point in time on any of these home screens, take your finger or take the S Pen, and you got to basically swipe up from the very bottom, and then this is where you have your Flipboard looking thing. And so this one is referred to as news. Here is social if you want to link them together. And then here is personal, and so a whole bunch of different personal things will pop up. And then again, here's the news. I do know that there is going to be soon a little update to where this is going to be able to add one more category. Other than that, all you have to do is click on the menu on the upper left-hand side, and underneath news, you click on the little arrow, and then this is where you can choose what you want to view. So you have news, technology, design, business, travel, games, automobile science, things like that. Basically, just check mark the ones that you want to be able to view. And then you go back up here, and again, let's maybe go into the whole personal thing if we want to, and then we'd be able to see exactly what we want to see. Scrapbook, the S Planner, music, photos, email, gallery, messages, things like that. Now, my favorite thing that I have to say about My Magazine is I'm not a huge Flipboard user, but the good thing is that I'm actually able to either turn it on or turn it off if I want to. So let's say that when you swipe down, this is where it's going to be able to, update everything. If you hit the home button, it's going to take you straight back home. This is where you go straight back into it. And so I'm going to swipe up here. And the cool thing is that when you actually hit on the down arrow over here, it's almost like its own built-in easy mode. If you guys know what easy mode is on the Samsung Galaxy devices, it's where it creates your phone to be 100% crazy easy. So check this out. You're looking at all your Flipboard stuff, basically. And here is your phone. Here is your camera, your text messages, Google search, your internet, and then here's all your applications. So if this is something that you always look at, which is My Magazine by Samsung in cooperation with Flipbook, basically, if you're looking at all of this type of different stuff here and you want to make a quick phone call, here you go. You click on the photo or the phone icon. If you want to take a quick photo, here you go. Now you're in the photo area. When you hit on the back icon, this is going to take you straight back into where you were with the My Magazine. So My Magazine basically is going to be your own little flipboard that you personally get to make and create and see exactly what you want to see. You can see it when you want to see it. You can get rid of it when you want to get rid of it. And it also has its own built-in easy mode. And so here is basically, 70% of what's brand new on this cell phone. It is referred to as Air Command. And so Air Command is where you hover your S Pen over the screen, and you're actually going to see a little white dot. And when you see that, you're going to press on the S Pen button. And what's going to happen is, in terms of Air Command, you're going to have several different options to do. And these are basically 5 different shortcuts. And so down the line, it's going to be Action Memo. You're going to have Scrapbooker. Here is the Screen Write. You have S Finder, and then Pen Window. And so the very first one is Action Memo. Action Memo is where you start, you start making notes, but you want to actually do something with the notes that you write. So for instance, let's say that you're going to be heading over to a Men's Warehouse. So I'm going to write down Men's Warehouse. And I'll tell you what, my handwriting is horrible, and the S Pen definitely shows that that's how accurate it is. So what you're going to do here now is you're going to hit on the third icon in, which is the lasso button. And then this is all the actionable things you can do. You can call the person. You can also add a person to a contact, text message, email. Then you also have a web search. You have Google Places, and then adding to a task. So let's say that you want to try to find the closest Men's Warehouse. And up here it shows Men's Warehouse. And so now I'd be able to find the closest Men's Warehouse. The other thing I'd be able to do is reopen that back up because it's always active. So then you can maybe go back in there. Maybe you're calling them, whatever. And then they're like, oh, hey, here is your order number. And so then this is how you can do that. Now, another thing a few people have liked so far on the Galaxy Note 3 is the ability of erasing. On the Note 2, all you had to do is just, keep erasing. With this one, all you have to do is just hit on the eraser and then just basically wipe it off. That is one improvement that I like. Now, another thing you'd be able to do is, let's say that you run into somebody and maybe their name is Mark. And so I'm going to write down Mark. And let's say that their phone number is, 222-333. 4, 5, 6, 7. That's their number, okay? And so all you have to do is hit the third icon in there again, which is the actionable link. You can call them right away. You can also add them straight to a contact, text message, email, blah, blah, blah. You guys heard it from the verb right before this. So let's say I want to add this person to my contact list. Here we go, 222-333-4567. So it actually puts in their number into the phone book as well as their name. There you go. That's that simple. Maybe you want to call them right away. You want to open this right back up and then make some more notes because maybe it's a hot date or something you got going on and you're like, oh, yeah, cool, I'm going to go to this location. And so that is actually the Action Memo. So that's something that I extremely love. And again, maybe if you guys have some lists that you guys need to write down, then you're actually able to write down a few things and add into your calendar. And that is the very last option, which is, your checklist. Okay, so here is the second Air Command that you guys are able to do. So again, just hover the S Pen over the screen, wait till you see the little white or blue dot, and then you just have to press on the S Pen button. And so what's going to happen is for the second one, it's referred to as Scrapbooker. So scrapbooking is basically you see a video, you see a picture, you see an internet page, you basically see anything that you want to scrapbook for later on. So let's say that I go onto the internet, and this is a article that I want to save and scrapbook for later. And so what I'll do is I'll hover the S Pen over the screen, press on the S Pen button, touch on Scrapbooker, and then from here I just make a circle. That's it. It's very extremely simple. And then all you have to do now is put it into which category you want it to do. So I have eatery, I have stupid, juicing, cool stuff, adventure, wedding, things like that. Here we go. So now I can go into tags. I can add a tag. And something you're going to notice right here is actually referred to as direct pen input. So you hover your S Pen over where you would usually write things, if it's a internet search bar, if it's the Google search bar, if it is changing your date and time or your alarm, if it is sending a text message, an email, whatever. Now you just have to write, and it's going to put it in the text for you. And so you can actually, refer to this one as, let's call it government. Let's see if it picked up the word, and it did. So you just go to done. save, and then you can save it, and then you can actually search for it later on. And so one of the other ones that I actually had, already pre-made is if when I go into my scrapbook, I have one here referred to as wedding, and again I have all these different categories. And let's say I go back into wedding, and the reason why it shows wedding is simply due to the fact that everybody gets married, or a lot of people get married, and the thing is that when you do get married, you probably go to close to 100 different websites. And so, you're going to choose about 50 different napkins, you're going to have 30 different dresses, 20 different shoes, 15 different rings. I mean, you kind of get the point. So let's say that you are sitting down with your hubby or your wife, and you figured out on these 2 last different napkins that you want to choose. And let's say that you choose the one on the right. And so this is the one that you guys want, but then you're like, oh my gosh, where is this website we went to? Instead of, using the Note 2 or any other cell phone to where you'd have to save URLs or your laptop, and you're saying, oh, favorite napkin number 1, favorite napkin number 2, favorite napkin number 3, and so on. You just have to look at the picture, click on it, and it's actually linked to exactly where you found that. So you can click on this link right here. You can also click on the globe icon on the top to take you over to the internet. And so this will find exactly what you want, when you want it, so you can find that exact napkin for that exact same price, because you may not be able to find that price ever again. I mean, that's a pretty good price right there. So let's get out of here. And one of the other error commands that I'm going to show you guys is one referred to as S-Finder. And so the only reason why I'm going to follow up from the scrapbooking all the way over to S-Finder is for this reason. So let's say that you are looking for a specific thing that you've scrapped book. Maybe it is a YouTube video or something like that, or maybe it is a picture, or maybe it's a text message. Maybe you're looking for a specific email that has an attachment in there, and you're looking for that specific word. And so instead of you spending 20 minutes on finding an email from a couple weeks ago, you can find it in about 10 seconds. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for dubstep. So this was actually one of the big dubstep videos that was on YouTube, and I'm actually still a big fan. Let's see, dubstep. Here we go. I'm sorry. Here, let me rewrite that for you guys. That was pretty bad. Okay, dub step. And I'm going to go to search. And now it's actually going to find exactly what I scrapped booked. And so it's going to find, just due to the fact that I added in a tag, just like I did on the last screen that you guys saw. And so here it is. So I tagged it as dubstep, and it found the exact video that I wanted to view. Here is the link there. I also have the link on the very top, but it's also embedded into the scrapbook. So I'm not going to play too much of that. You guys get the point. The next error command that I'm going to show you guys is you just hover the S Pen over the screen again, press on the button, and let's do the screen write. So screen write is basically the exact same thing on the Note 2, where you press and held on the S Pen button, and then you press and held on the screen, and it took a snapshot of whatever you're looking at. And so what this does is just a little bit easier to find, and also a few people probably forgot about it on the Note 2. Say that you are meeting a friend at this location. And so let's zoom in a little bit. And all you got to do is hover over the S Pen, hover the S Pen over the screen, press on the button, and go to screen write. It's going to then take a photo for you, and then automatically now you can start writing. So let's say that this is where I'm at, and this is going to be the route that I take to get to the Empire State Building. And so I'm going to say that's me, and then we can also always change the color, and this person is probably over here, and you want them to go this way. You can say you, and then let's write, probably in black, let's say at noon. And again, I can make this look a lot more prettier, but I just wanted to show you guys what you'd be able to do. You save it, and now you can send it as a JPEG if you would like to. And so at any point in time, if you ever want to take a screenshot of exactly what you're looking at, that is how you do it. Now, let's hover over the screen again with the S Pen, press on the button. So we've talked a little bit about Action Memo. Action Memo is where you'd actually be able to start taking all your notes and make it actionable, and you want to do stuff with it. Scrapbooker, you just head over to a picture, a video, you can go to a document, you can look at anything you want to just so you can organize your life. We also just talked about Screen Write. And then here is the S-Finder to actually make your life more organized and find things within a couple seconds. And then the very last one is going to be Pen Window. So Pen Window is where you can be at any point in time and anywhere on the phone. Go to Pen Window, draw your box of how big you want that application to be. and then you can open up any of these 8 applications. So as of right now, there's 8, and my guess is that it will actually be updated to some more, is my guess. And so let's say you want to open up maybe your calculator, and then again, you want to go up online, or you want to look at all these napkins, you want to add everything in, and then you can start, making all of your different, calculations. And then maybe let's say that you're like, okay, I want to keep looking at what this picture looks like. I've already got my calculator open. I'm going to go into my phone, and then I'm going to actually start calling my mom, my dad, and whoever. And you can actually initiate a phone call from here, and it's going to, go into that big screen. But it's also a way that you'd be able to exit out, and then you can open up on your calculator, and you can show people how much to spend. Here's the cool thing. When you actually hit on the home button, it gets you out of everything, and these things are always active and floating. So you can always open these things up. And again, if you want, you can have as many windows as you want open. My guess is, not everybody is going to open up all 8, as well as, let's go back to the internet, as well as, the multi-window and everything like that. But again, this thing has 3 gig of RAM, and it's a 2.3, quad-core processor. I mean, this thing is a beast. So it is able to run all of these. And so, one of the things that this reminds me of is probably a little bit about Windows 7, because it looks like you have different windows on each other. And then basically, if you want to get out of them, you hit on the X, or press and hold on the home button, and then you can just exit out of everything by killing all the tasks. So let's talk a little bit about the multi-window. So multi-window has been improved on the Galaxy Note 3, and let me show you how. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that that little tab is not there. Let's say you just get this phone, it's out of the box. What you're going to want to do is head up into the notifications bar, and you want to turn on multi-window. Once you've turned that on, usually it'll probably pop up right away. If not, all you have to do is press and hold on the back icon, and here you go. This is the sidebar that you can open up for multi-window. And so I'm going to open this back up here, and you're going to notice that there's actually quite a few more applications than the Note 2. And so all you'd have to do in terms of if you want to edit this window, just click on the very bottom icon and then go to Edit. This is where you can add in more to the side, or you can take off some of those that you don't use as much. But here's the thing that's pretty cool too. One of the options you'd be able to do is create a multi-window opening up 2 apps at the exact same time that you use all the time. So let's say that you always use your gallery and YouTube, or maybe you want to always use 2 different web pages at the exact same time so you can multitask. And then maybe let's say, thank you for the text message. Maybe let's say that you want to send a picture through a text message. And so let's say that you want to send this person named Random a photo of you playing Jenga or something like that. And so I'm going to choose this photo right here to send up to Mr. Random up here. So all you have to do is click on the center icon, which is that little blue dot. And when you choose here, you have the X, which is going to exit out of the application. You have the next icon, which is drag and drop. Next from that is just basically flipping it, different locations. And then this one, the very first icon that you see, is going to be all the different applications that you have opened up. So you'd be able to choose which one you want to run on the bottom. So let's say I want to send a photo. Click on the blue dot, click on the third icon, and here's drag and drop. So I'm going to take this photo right here and drag it up to the very top. That's all you have to do. So let's say maybe you got an email from FedEx saying that you have a tracking number, and here you go. So what you want to do is have your email on the top, have the browser on the very bottom, and then all you got to do is once you went to the the site on the bottom where you can input your billion-digit number, then all you got to do is go to your email up here, hit the button, drag and drop your entire number into that box, and then hit search. And so that is how the drag and drop option works. And so how you save some of these different things that you might use all the time is, so let's say that you use your Evernote and you also listen to music at the exact same time. So I'm going to play music, and then I also have, Evernote on the very top. So let's say that you use this all the time. So in order for you to save it, you open this back up, hit on the button on the extreme bottom, and then you're going to click on Create. And now it says right now which 2 apps is open, Evernote and Play Music. Usually I would just call this Evernote Play Music if I was to save it myself. And now you're actually able to open that at any point in time when you save it. And also, just so you guys know, you can move this up and down. You can also move it to the other side too, just as FYI. Oh yes, and I don't want to forget to mention that when you actually have some of these saved, in terms of the 2 different apps running at the same time, and you forget how to, or you don't know how to delete them, click on the icon on the very bottom, go to edit, and you're going to notice that you have the red dashes to where you can actually delete those. So if maps and text is something I don't use all the time, I hit on the red dash and I just delete that. And I go to done. There you go.